Okay, so before anything else, just watch this. It's very important. In digital art, knowing the shortcuts, knowing like Control L for colors, for color levels, Control B for color level balance, Control M for Control B for balance, Control button for curves. Okay, I will leave the link in my description, but look, first video, and there's already a YouTube poop of it. What? Anyway, second episode, Alumx Blabbercast. I guess this is a thing now. Like, I wasn't expecting so much positive feedback from last episode, the first one. Like, you guys really seem to enjoy whatever I did. Even if that was like a poopy, crappy giraffe alien land thing. I mean, like main reason for like you guys like my voice. What? Why? Anyway, enough of that. I'm really flattered that you guys like it, and I think I will keep doing it. I'm looking forward to share my techniques and tricks and hacks. But anyway, let's get to this one. Let's get to this drawing. Actually, make me a screen a bit bigger because I don't see what's going on. So there's a like first of all there's a small difference between this and last painting. That difference being is this painting took me 4 hours and 40 minutes, while last one took me 40 minutes. So this is a bigger, a more courageous kind of painting. I would not be satisfied with just a simple landscape. So I decided that my idea for this one was going to be a city. Oh my god! As you can see, this was more than I could chew on. Is that a saying? Is that how you say it? Anyway, so a city is a bit more complicated, and that's why this video is going to be a bit longer, and I will cover a more extensive work process, more detailed, with a lot of tricks. We're gonna have a bit of everything. Oh my god, my cat! You want to get outside? Stop ruining my video! No, he doesn't want to go outside. The fucking cat. Okay, so distractions aside, let's see what's happening in the video right now. Like at this point, I don't really have a solid idea of what I want to do. I just know that I want it to be a city. I just like have that dream in my heart. That's so fucking silly. But I have that idea that I want to make a city. Like, I'm not sure what, but that's like the magic of the process. As long as I keep going, I'm exploring and I'm building upon. And that's like why I always say, like, I do not responsibilize myself for what I do, because it's not something that exists. It's when I make painting and it turns up to be a good painting, I feel like it drew itself. The painting just made itself, and I was just a hand that listened to it. And hands can't listen, but you understand. I just listened to it and I made it what it wanted to be. And this is the same thing. I'm exploring here. I am just putting like some general idea of ground with some vertical lines that define buildings, and I'm just like looking, like trying to feel what's happening, like trying to put myself in there, like what will be fun to look at, what's good, like what's interesting, like I'm always just questioning myself. I don't have idea what I'm doing, but I have idea of what I would like it to be, based on my likings and based on my taste. So that's what's happening here. Very rough, very simple. And a city also raises another question. which is an age-old problem for any kind of artist. Perspective. Perspective. And I never, it's still a struggle for me, and it's a struggle for a lot of artists, like drawing straight lines with vanishing point and calculating the sizes. It's not fun. It's just like mathematics, and it requires a lot of precision, and perspective is hard. And I will show you a trick to cheat the perspective. And how do you do it? In any moment. I didn't really think this. But one way to cheat perspective is by using 3D. And in my case, I will use Blender. Woo, 3D! Second episode, and we're already exploring new programs. Here we go. But in all seriousness, 3D is super important for any kind of digital artist. Oh no. Okay, 2 interruptions in 2 minutes. That's a sign that today is not a good day to record it, but you know what? I don't care. So, 3D digital art, why is it so important? It's simple. 3D is a tool, and every tool has its own strong and weak points. 2D, for example, drawing on 2D has a great strong point of speed. When you draw on a plane with your pencil, you get your idea from your brain into reality in a straight process. There's no technicalities. You have something in your mind, you put it on paper, bam, it's fast. That's why 2D will always remain in the industry. Be like, it doesn't matter what kind of new tools they invent. 2D is always really fast. But 2D is not accurate. And that's where 3D comes in. 3D is excellent for accuracy. It represents our reality. We got 3 dimensions like our world. We can put things in depth, like in perspective. We have cameras, lightings, render. It's very technical. You can do a lot of realistic things in 3D programs, and that's why the best, like even when you look at those like architectural 3D models of houses, it's sometimes it's hard to notice if it's real or not, because how accurate 3D is to represent real world. But while accuracy is the strong point, the speed and the flow, like it's a lot more complicated. It's not as straightforward as 2D. While in 2D you can just like you have idea in your mind, you grab a pencil and you draw it. In 3D you need to have a lot more technical knowledge before you can get something out of your mind into like 3D space. But even then, it still lacks that kind of freedom that drawing has, that kind of like mistakes, imperfection, because 3D is so good to a fault. Like it's so perfect, it's kind of weird that how perfect everything is in 3D. So that's like the balance that you need to be like considering, like the balance that you need to have in mind when you think about these kind of tools. Like in this case, I made a sketch in 2D. Like I just like sketched the city. It was like my general idea, and then I grabbed that sketch. I just threw it in behind the like as a plane in Blender, and I just started like creating like very simple mockup in 3D in like some cubes, made a street, a very simple camera with open lens, like to simulate the wide lens of the painting. Very simple lighting. There's nothing. There's nothing. Like I made it in 30 minutes. Very straightforward. And like I'm like juggling between these 2 programs. I use the freedom and the speed of creativity on 2D, Then I jumped to 3D to give some bone to my drawing, to give some structure, some solidity. Solidity? Is that a word? I guess it's a word now. To make my drawing accurate, to make it make sense in real life. So I don't have to worry about making things precise now. Like now I got like these cubes. They follow the rules of perspective. They are perfect in space. Now my work as an artist has been like all the weight has been lifted. I don't have to worry about technical stuff. I just need to worry about drawing on top of this, about following the perspective lines that already exist in this painting. So here I am, like importing the 3D render. That 3D render, it took me a long time. I think it took me like 40 minutes, and I just sped up it a lot. So make sure to have a good GPU if you want to render things. So here I am, like this is like the second step. Like first, like third step to be more precise. The first step I made a sketch. Second step I made a small mock-up. What is that? God damn it. Second step I made a small mock-up, and the third step I grabbed that mock-up and started painting over it. And here's the difference. I'm painting over it. I don't care. I'm keeping myself really like free. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Why everyone wants to ruin my video today? But yeah, like I'm not using layers. I'm barely using layers to paint. I'm just doing everything on the same layer. And right here I'm explaining perspective, but it's kind of hard to explain it when the video is sped up 400 times. So yeah, but what I want to emphasize here is freedom. Not focusing yourself on small things, not getting stuck at this point. Because right now I have like bare bones. Like here, I in beginning I had the idea of a city. Now I got some cubes. Now I just need to put things on those cubes, like make them more unique, like give them a story. And this is what I'm doing here. I'm basically creating a story. I'm like imagining what's happening. Like at this moment I'm like creating a billboard for that building. I'm imagining some kind of like futuristic big screen with advertisement. And at this point I'm still not sure what kind of city this is, but I kind of assumed it to be like non-dystopian, because like dystopian future city or something is very it's a very cliche thing. So I want to be like a normal, like more like real, like middle class city. It's kind of run down. It's kind of dystopian, but it's not like completely abandoned and chaotic. So right now I'm bringing some images. I'm bringing like some textures, some pictures from my reference stock, like pictures that I save from internet and I really like. And in this case, like I like since this building was going to have a lot of like advertisements and neon signs, I thought it would be cool to like copy paste some parts of picture. And again, like look how I'm using these images. I'm just throwing noise. Like at this point I don't really care about like keeping things small. I don't care about detail. I only care about just big broad strokes, like me throwing noise everywhere, me just creating, like letting myself keeping myself open to small happy, like little happy accidents, just throwing things, see if they work, see if they don't work. If like I don't waste too much time at this point. Like I just experiment. And right now there's like the big first moment for this painting. It's where I add the balcony extension to this building. And like I could use 3D, but it's good to alternate. Like it's don't limit yourself to one thing. Like it's good to know 3D, but it's also good to know how to do things without 3D. So you can see me like creating some vanishing points and drawing some lines. And I want to emphasize something really important. Don't be afraid to be imperfect. Not being perfect is a feature of good art. Like, nothing in nature is perfect. So don't worry if your lines are not perfectly straight, or don't worry if you don't think it's perfect. Like, don't worry about that. Just like look at the entire picture from far away, and just follow your guts. Just follow your brain. Like, does it look okay? Does it look close enough? This is the key. This is the key word. Does it look close enough? It doesn't need to be perfect, because there's a moment when you strike for perfection, where the amount of time you invest in it gets diminishing result. Like, after like big game changes happen in the beginning of painting, like big broad brush strokes. After the beginning, you detail and you focus and you get more precise and more precise, and you get to a point where you can invest like 10 hours in a painting and you can barely notice a difference. So it's important to be conscious of those kind of limitations. Okay, right now there's something very interesting happening. I messed up here, and I fixed my mistake by going to 3D and checking up with the model. Because I noticed that extension on the top, it wasn't as large as I wanted it to be. And I went into 3D, I made it a bit bigger, and then I fixed it by looking like in comparison. And also, I got an idea of adding a car. And the interesting thing, I started drawing the car like in Photoshop. I didn't do it in 3D. But then I realized that drawing things, like even drawing a cube that belongs in a 3D, like three-point perspective, is hard. Not even talking about drawing a car. Drawing a car is even harder. So I just went to Blender and just like made a small mock-up of like a box with like, I don't know, some kind of futuristic car. And this is again an example about how 3D is essential for like any kind of digital artist. Like, this will take me a lot more time like to develop, and it will not even look accurate if I did everything by hand. But with 3D, I can just like make a small box, and now I know perfect perspective, and I even know like small detail about lighting in front of the car, like something I wouldn't have guessed. And right now I am experimenting, and like straight off the bat, there's like a happy little accident that happened there. I copy pasted some those turbines from the jet plane, and I really liked how it looked like. And like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing here, but these turbines, I gonna keep them. I like how they look. So I decided to give that car some color, and I'm going for some kind of like levitating, futuristic car with turbines. It's like a Porsche. I'm not sure, but it's like a fancy car in the future. I want like to keep it a bit classy, a bit like not too like sharp jet, like space age type of thing. I want to keep it like more relatable, but still cool. And that's like that's the point. Like I'm focusing on making things like fun to look at. Like, I didn't use references in this at this point. Like, if this was a serious painting, like everything would be a lot more researched. But since like this is like me just exploring the painting, like me just letting the painting paint itself, I'm just like I'm just talking to myself here, and like saying things like, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a car here? Like, oh, what kind of building is this? Is this like a bar, or like what do people do here? Like, what's the story behind this? And like this kind of conversation with myself, it led me to create this kind of like painting, where the more I explore, the more I think about it, the more I draw, and it just gets like solid by itself. So I'm just like adding some text, like some random signs over there. I don't know what that says actually. And at this point, I kind of realized that okay, that building has a lot of detail. Now I need to put some work everywhere else, and I decided that my center of attention was going to be that first corner building with that car parked next to it. So like that building is the star of the show, and now I'm just going to like throw some sketch lines everywhere else, like to make rest of the painting like a bit more interesting to look at. Yeah, like you can see me using 3D a lot, like not even like rendering things in 3D, just like looking at things in 3D and like analyzing my space and seeing like okay, like at this right now I am like planning the alleyway, I guess that's how it's called, where people walk on. And like I noticed that I forgot to include it, and now I am like creating like more consistent alleyway or something. I need to research the word. And like just looking at it, like it's enough for me like to have like a visual reference, and this is a lot better than like having photo reference because you made it yourself. I created this model and I can build using this model, and this is like the magic of 3D. I'm working mainly in Photoshop, but I'm using other tools to help my process be easier. That's the key. Like I want my life to be easier. I don't want this to be like realistic or something. I just want to tell a story. I want to get like make something out of nothing, and I'm just using tools at my disposal that are suited for the job. Like right now I am like solidifying some background buildings, giving them more blocking using lasso tool a lot. Lasso tool is very important for blocking things. Like it's really powerful, and I also maybe I should like do episodes about like just focusing on one tool and all the tricks related with that tool. Because like if you hold like if you draw with lasso tool and you hold shift, you can add more selection. But if you start a selection and then you hold control shift, then you can make straight lines, I guess. I don't know, I need to check this on Photoshop. But there are like a lot of hidden tricks with all the tools, and knowing all these tricks, they just make your life easier and faster. So right now you can notice that I'm using that jet plane everywhere. It's like it became a thing. Just I don't know. Like it's nice to repeat same element a lot in your painting. It gives like a bit more repetition, like not bad repetition, like good repetition. And what I'm doing right now, like looking everywhere and just like getting some pictures, like getting some photo bashing. I could draw this, but at this point, like this video, let me check the time on this. Yeah, at this point, I'm like painting this for 3 hours, like almost 3 hours, and right now I'm just focusing on trying to finish it. Like, okay, let's see what can I do to finish it. And right now I am like experimenting some things, because like my idea on this corner of building, I wanted to make like a curved glass, and making things curved is not easy, but making things curved in 3-point perspective is even less easy. So you just need to improvise and not make like don't worry about perfection. Like using a lot of multiplying modes, screen modes, soft light, and you can also notice that I scrambled text. I don't want to have like blatant text on my on the pictures that I use, because it distracts. the letters and text is really our eyes are naturally driven to text. So like there's like a priority of things that our brain focuses on, and faces, like human faces, eyes and text is like top priority. So I want to blur text because it's not important for this piece, and I don't want my viewers to be distracted with things that are not important. So like it's good to keep these things in mind, because at the end of the day, these kind of things they are what make the difference, like between like mediocre painting and between a really good painting. So right now I'm just copy pasting. Like you can see, copy pasting is a great thing. Like you make something once and then you distort it and use it a lot of times around the painting. Painting. What is my word? My tongue. I need some water. So adding some people, and drawing people is a really weak point of mine. I am not good at drawing humans and people. I like, as you might have noticed, I specialize on drawing ponies. So that's why I'm not drawing ponies on this series. I want to break away from them a bit. Like, I want to, like, it's good to be like to spread your skills in all the directions. Like knowing how to do one thing well is good, but it's better if you know more. Like it improves your skill overall. So that's why I'm focusing more on humans. Like I just like to break, like to get out of my comfort zone. Not being in your comfort zone is essential for an artist. So right now I am like having like finishing touches. Like I'm just like really loose, rough brush strokes everywhere, just like adding noise and adding small details. Like my brush is just flying everywhere. I just like experiment. Like at this point, like I just added a bridge there, like just because, like no reason. I just made a line and it just looked cool, so I just went with it. Like small bridge, like going over them. Maybe like some like glass tunnel inside it where people walk. And the idea in this city is like there's like this street where the car is, and that street goes down, and it goes like into some kind of underground, permanent nightlife kind of area of that city, and that's like where you can see those purple and pinkish lights. That's where like it tunnels down into earth, and the city opens like in different sections of like permanent night and permanent nightlife. And behind the city, in the background, you can see like a giant citadel, and like that's like the rich part of the city that I want to mention there. Like this is like kind of like mid poor zone, like suburb, where it's kind of like older part of this place, of the town. So it's not as technologically crazy. It has like some gimmicks, some like architectural things, but it's not too crazy. It's like overgrown. While in the background there's like a big, pretty, perfect citadel type of building architecture going on there. So very loose, very loose. Like I want to be really clear on the being loose and being fast, because that's I want to be a concept artist. I want to get my ideas out really quickly, and this is like that's what I focus on. I don't mind the detail, and I don't want to lose that fire, that energy that I have while I'm making this. So like as soon as I focus, as soon as I zoom in on something for too long, I just lose the steam, and I don't want to lose that steam of like constant creativity and constant questioning about this city, and always building upon it and building and building. So, oh man, we came to the end of the video. To be honest, guys, like yesterday, like I made this painting yesterday. Like this voice I'm recording on the following day, and oh boy, I recorded audio like 30 times, but I always kept deleting it because I will mess up. So, I mean, I think I was tired, so I think I learned not to make these paintings when I'm tired. So yeah, here's the finished painting. I am pretty happy with it. To be honest, it's pretty fun to look at. There's like a small story going on there. There's like some people. It could use a bit more people. But we got a car, we got a bar thing for on the ground going on there, and it's like I am happy with it. I'm satisfied. So here we are, second episode of Alumx's Blabbercast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you for listening. I have a long way to learn how to talk properly, but it will be a learning experience both for me and you. So